down here. Why'd you do it, TLO? Why'd you do it? This will be preventing GoOdy from expanding to his third for a little bit. We'll see. He is going orbital. He does not want to go planetary. Some choose to go planetary because they just want to default to a planetary for their third. And others say, well, this is, you know, guarded a little bit by the destructible debris. They're 3 armor and 2,000 health, or you have to go up a couple of ramps either way. Now, something to note, GoOdy actually doesn't have to do this. Oh, here's a little bit of a Viking engagement. Some pretty good micro by TLO pulling him back to really increase the longevity, and he's not going to have to worry about any Marines or any other attacks. Well, take that back. There's a single Marine here that did get a kill. And more Vikings are going to come in, and a point defense drone is dropped prematurely here. Now, that is going to be a cost of some energy that's not really going to benefit much at all. This turret is not going to be up in time to deter the Vikings. But TLO is going to go ahead and push forward. I'm really surprised to see that Thors haven't been pushed out in this game. This is very much a Viking tank game, which TvT a while ago used to just be Viking tanks, and Vikings were used to scout, but they would hop back and forth because you didn't really want to lose them, and then tanks would just get annihilated. So you'd end the game with like 40 Vikings for either player and like 2 tanks. Now, something I was going to say was that the barracks was stopped here for TLO, and GoOdy decided to siege up and attack the barracks. It would have actually been better for him to stay unsieged, I believe. I'm not sure about armored. I'm pretty sure, though, that tanks do higher DPS versus armored or versus normal when they're out of siege mode, when they're in mobile mode. And what I mean by DPS is that they don't hit as hard, but the attack speed gain, they're hitting so much faster, means that they're doing more damage every second on average than they would in their tank mode. So that's just a little thing to note, is that GoOdy could have done a little more min-maxing there. Maybe he wanted to have these guys, he didn't specifically have them attack there, so that if any attacking units tried to sweep up, then they would have had the shot first. That would have made plenty of sense, but nonetheless, TLO did drop a command center here at the high yield. He's got 4 harvesters on this gas. He really needs to swap that out. I don't know what he's doing there. Maybe a couple of misclicks. Maybe his keyboard's getting a little frantic. Now he's got 4 on this one and only 1 on this one. We do have him moving out. We do have GoOdy moving out. Blue Flame is only just starting for TLO, but he is getting high sec auto tracking started. There are a lot of Vikings out here for GoOdy. We can see on the army matchup, TLO only has 7 Vikings, but he does have 13 tanks opposed to GoOdy's 6. Now GoOdy does have the 2 Thors plus the Raven. All of that could make a crucial difference. Trying to spy the Raven. There he is. He does have 193 health, health energy, so he can drop a couple of point defense drones. When that maxes out, he could drop 2. Does not have Hunter Seeker Missile researched. And there's TLO's Thor with a pretty little wings. GoOdy's Thor is all plain and normal, but they don't care. You can see him rocking out the portrait. They're ready to kill anyway. He's trying to catch TLO around, but TLO's just getting too much of a heads up, and we do have the floating barracks just going to be poked out a bit. Missile turret there is going to get taken out as TLO tries to take a 5th base. This is going to be a huge engagement as the siege tanks do get up in time, and they're going to just bombard into these Thors. Now the Vikings are going to have a terrible time. Oh, these Vikings need to attack. They can attack right now. Kill them all. TLO has too many of his Vikings pulled to the back, plus the point defense drone was stopping all of his attacks. Well, GoOdy had free reign, but it didn't matter for the ground army. It will... TLO moving into the tank line when GoOdy is attacking the destructible debris. That's not what he needs to be doing. These tanks are going to have... They're going to be attacking. They're going to be destroying. GoOdy not having the right targets attacked. SCVs being pulled and a mule, because why not? Mules are OP at everything, even taking hits. Some of TLO's SCVs going to live. GoOdy going to be taking the Viking win. No, he's not. TLO is going to come out on top in every way, shape, and form. Now, TLO is getting Cloaking Field. I'm going to presume that that's for Banshees, not for... Yes, that's going to be for Banshees. One of the big things that people say could make or break a TvT, especially with tank lines. Excuse me, had to cough there. I'm not sure TLO needs to be moving into this. Good staggered tank line by GoOdy, but TLO just has so many tanks to push through. They don't have any armor upgrade. They do have the 1 damage upgrade, but GoOdy does have the 1/1. And they are going to be able to break the tank line of GoOdy. The Vikings are going to end up dying, except for this one, who intelligently lands and then gets shot by a siege tank. And TLO is going to set up for a very, very powerful contain here, as long as he can just stay just out of range of these tanks. Now, for those who are new, I talked earlier about the Vikings giving sight for the tanks. The tanks can see, I think, a range of 10, but they can shoot a range of 11. So if you can get something like an air unit or another unit to get out far enough to where they won't get shot down, the tanks will see farther. TLO, that's also why you'll see scans dropped on the opponents to give your tanks vision. Now TLO is going to be breaking down these destructible debris. He's making sure that GoOdy's army isn't moving forward. Oh, he unsieges just in time, but is it going to be... I think there's just too much here between the tanks, the SCVs to absorb shots, and the tanks and the Hellions. TLO is going to have to pull back. He's got more SCVs and more tanks streaming up. If you look at the supply count now, we've got TLO at 103, GoOdy at 140. GoOdy has been able to really macro up a bit more and get his supply count back. And he's able to solidify this ramp. TLO might be able to sweep in through here. Scans going down all over the place. We do see that in the income tab, it is 65 harvesters for GoOdy to TLO's 54. And there goes that missile turret, if that was a turret. I believe it's a turret. Whatever it was, now it's a smoldering crater. GoOdy is taking his 4th base. TLO does have this high yield, which should be really, really helping him on the income. But GoOdy, maybe even just a little bit oversaturated on his workers, needs to push a few more down to his new 4th. TLO will be ready, no doubt, to transfer up to his 5th here on the right. Cloaking field should have finished for TLO. Those wings look so cool. Look at that. Look at that Thor. Just a baller. He's just like, yeah, extra big guns, extra size wings. Just awesome. You know me. TLO is going to decide to move back a bit to set up a little better of a contain. Hellions are going to be sweeping by here. They're probably going to try to move up into this base. Since it's not a planetary, they could get a lot of worker kills, especially with that extra blue flame. But TLO is going to be able to intercept it real quick. Good spotting by him. GoOdy might get one work... Nope, not even a single worker kill. And this is great. This is really good. Sensor tower down for TLO. He can see this entire border, everything in it. Just if it's it'll be a little tag like so. But it shows so much. GoOdy is getting ready to be maxed out. He's producing another Thor and a couple tanks with Hellions. TLO is getting out more Thors for himself, and he is getting out a crucial Raven as well. GoOdy, we can see, did lose his Raven in the firefight with the Vikings, probably when it was over on this right side. He has not since remade that. So many SCVs transferring. If TLO could just scan right there and just land a couple of crucial shots. Well, he does see it, but he can't quite reach it. Oh, and that would be why GoOdy pulled back his SCVs. Hellions not doing so well versus armored. They really are a light killer. Tanks, not really light, as you can tell. They're kind of big, bulky things with giant artillery shells. Now this could prove crucial. TLO, if he could get this high ground here. But it doesn't matter. GoOdy's going to go ahead and push in. He's going to have the Hellions coming to absorb damage. He has a ton of tanks. They're just going to come in and demolish, along with the 3 Thors. 11 Vikings up, 3 Thors, 6 Hellions around the field, 13 tanks. Really going to just push his massive supply bonus that he has, the supply advantage. He is knocked down to 165, now up to 167 as he continues to reproduce and remacro up. And TLO is trying to keep up with. He's moving his guys down. I guess there was a Hellion run by. They may have been trying to go in to TLO's 5th, and so he pulled to defend it, and he ended up losing a high yield as a result. We head over to the income tab again. We can see GoOdy still ahead on harvesters, but they're pretty well matched in terms of income. GoOdy does have a significant advantage, about 100 more gas per minute. TLO may be spiking up because of some mules on his minerals, but nonetheless, the result is that they're pretty close. GoOdy maintaining a slight advantage and taking his own high yield in the meantime. This is actually the same command center that was denied here. Ends up just floating around and saying, alright, well, I'll just drop here. And the TLO spots it in time. Oh, if he could have just gotten a better shot on those SCVs with a Hellion. He instead lands the Vikings. He really wants all the extra DPS he can get. But GoOdy swinging his army around to the side here, leaving his Vikings back, but he won't need them at all. Mass SCV repair on the command center as TLO's tank and Thors are just crushed. Swinging the rest of his army around as well. And this high yield is going to suddenly become so saturated, so filled with workers, except for this guy who's like, dude, I've got 4 health. Okay, I earned a little bit of a break. Great tank positioning for GoOdy. Really securing that middle. Vikings landing to take all the damage they can and also contribute some DPS as TLO's tanks continue to shell. This could be the killer move right here. GoOdy's Vikings in mass landing. Hoping to do that extra DPS that just finished it off, and I'm not sure. TLO, yep, down to 100 supply, knows that GoOdy's going to just push in. GG's out of the game. A fantastic play by both players, really showing the positional. Excuse me, my voice was just giving out. My throat was saying too much, man, too much from this game. Terran versus Terran really being shown well here on the positional requirements. On that, it matters in where you catch your opponent's tanks, where you catch your opponent's army off guard. If you have air superiority at some point, if you hold tech advantages, I would have loved to have seen maybe some more upgrades. Nonetheless, a fantastic game by both players. So until next time, good luck and have fun.